Welcome everyone once again to another episode of Coffee and Bolter. In this episode, we're going to talk about a character that David Muriel truly loves, Mephiston, because, well, anyway, we've always been especially drawn to the mysterious and dark past of the Blood Angels Legion, and by extension, the Blood Angels chapter, as well as all of the various successor foundings. They've always been a sort of fallen knights, disgraced, but who still hold on to their sense of nobility, their honor, and their faith. So let's see how Calistarius became Mephiston. Let's get into it. Let's give it a grim touch right from the start. So we're going to do an episode on Mephiston, the Lord of Death. Let's start with a brief summary of who Mephiston was and who he is. Mephiston, whose original name was Calistarius and also known as the Lord of Death, is the master of the Librarius and chief librarian of the Blood Angels chapter. He is the only known member of the Blood Angels or any of their successor chapters within the Sanguinary Brotherhood, who has managed to overcome the Black Rage not once but twice, regaining his sanity on both occasions. He is a librarian of immense power, considered one of the most powerful psychers in the entire Imperium of Man. However, it is rumored that Mephiston paid a terrible price for his resurrection, and that, by mastering the Black Rage, something even more sinister took its place. One hopes such rumors are nothing more than slander, carrion clinging to greatness. But Mephiston guards his secrets well, and only time will reveal the truth. Let's begin with his history. And as you might expect, we start with the Space Hulk, the Sin of Damnation. When he was still a young Lexicanium named Brother Calistarius, he served as a battle psyker in the Blood Angels Librarius and as an honorary member of the 1st Veteran Company under the command of Captain Raphael during the purge of the infamous Space Hulk, the Sin of Damnation, in the year 589 of the 41st millennium. The librarian's powerful mind and his supernatural abilities set him apart from the rest of his battle brothers, an isolation he himself seemed to encourage. Calistarius had witnessed the horrors of the warp, and he fought every day against damnation and temptation. Because of this, he found it difficult to look upon his Astartes brothers with true empathy. Deep down, he inhabited a completely different sphere of existence, but his gifts of precognition and his devastating psychic outbursts were an invaluable resource for Captain Raphael. Now comes the heart of the matter. The story of Calistarius now takes us to Armageddon. Yes, the very planet that has so often managed to repel invasions from both orcs and chaos. As Brother Calistarius, Mephiston was a librarian of exceptional bravery and indomitable character. Here on Armageddon, he would find his nemesis, his curse, the Black Rage. During the battles before the walls of Hive Hades in the Second War for Armageddon, the curse of Sanguinius finally fell upon him. Calistarius took part in the final assault on an ecclesiastic building in Hive Hades, where he was buried alive when the complex collapsed. Crushed, but not dead, the librarian was trapped among the rubble for long solar days, screaming and delirious as he fought the madness brought on by the Black Rage, the genetic flaw of his lineage. Finally, on the 7th night, he emerged victorious. Breaking through the ruins that entombed him, transformed into something new and terrible. Calistarius was gone. In his place stood Mephiston, one of the most powerful psychers to have ever honored the name of the Emperor of Mankind and the only Blood Angel to conquer the Black Rage. His transformation was unprecedented. His physical and mental strength had been elevated to superhuman levels by the reactivation of his gene seed. His rebirth did not go unnoticed. As Mephiston pushed aside the enormous stone blocks of his makeshift tomb, the noise attracted a band of orcs still roaming the ruins. Seeing him, unarmed and with his armor in tatters, they thought he would be easy prey. They soon regretted their mistake. Outmatched in speed and strength, 5 orcs died in a matter of seconds, their bodies reduced to pulp under Mephiston's blows. A dozen more followed before the others understood their fate. Too stupid to surrender, the orcs redoubled their attack. But the reborn Blood Angel continued his hunt until he pierced the chest of the largest among them and tore out its heart with his bare hands. Covered in the blood of his enemies, Mephiston began the long journey back to the imperial lines on foot. He was soon named Chief Librarian of the Blood Angels, and many saw him as a ray of hope in an age of darkness. If one of the sons of Sanguinius had managed to overcome the Black Rage, perhaps others could follow. But there were voices that whispered that Mephiston had paid a terrible price for his resurrection, one that no one could imagine. However, not everyone accepts him without reservation. Some can barely recognize the old Callisterius in him. Where there were once words, there is now silence. Where he once sought camaraderie, he now took refuge in solitude. His noble and perfect face seems to hide a soul still in conflict. Perhaps such changes are inevitable when one has stared into the abyss and returned. Now, we can truly say that Mephiston has become the Lord of Death. Shortly after conquering the Black Rage on Armageddon, Mephiston's powers, psychic, physical, and martial, surpassed those of nearly all his battle brothers. He rose quickly to the rank of Chief Librarian of the Blood Angels and was invested with the title Lord of Death. His psychic gifts are so formidable that few in the Imperium can match him, and no other Astartes could defeat him in combat. His skill with a sword rivals that of humanity's greatest heroes. Some claim that since his victory over the Black Rage, a part of his Primarch's true power flows through his veins. Truly, Mephiston is a worthy son of Sanguinius. And remember, on our Patreon, you'll find content for painting all kinds of miniatures for every skill level. We hope to see you there. Now let's move on to the civil war within the Blood Angels chapter. The episode of the Reborn Angel, where Mephiston fell to the Black Rage and overcame it once more. On the world of Cybele, one of the darkest episodes in the history of the Blood Angels took shape with the appearance of Brother Archeo. He wielded the chapter's sacred relic known as the Spear of Telesto and proclaimed himself to be the reincarnation of Sanguinius. Many in the 6th Company swore loyalty to the self-proclaimed Reborn Angel. Unbeknownst to the Blood Angels, Inquisitor Remius Stele of the Ordo Hereticus, secretly a servant of Chaos, had manipulated events to sow division within the chapter. After the deaths of Brother Gallio and Bode at the hands of Archeo's followers, Mephiston decided that he, and not Commander Dante himself, would be the one to face the impostor. His reasoning was clear. As a psyker, he could detect the corruption of Chaos in Archeo and his followers. Then he saw the seed of corruption, carefully hidden, that Stele had implanted in the supposed Reborn Angel. And he publicly denounced him as a false prophet, also thoroughly exposing the Inquisitor as a dangerous heretic in front of everyone present. Mephiston, with unwavering resolve, challenged Archeo to a formal duel, making it clear that only one of them could be right. Mephiston challenged Archeo to a duel. But before it could begin, his biological brother, Sergeant Raffen, also of the Blood Angels, appeared. He asked to face Archeo himself. Raffen had been one of the few in his company who doubted the authenticity of Archeo's resurrection, maintaining his faith in the Emperor and in Sanguinius. He formally repudiated his brother, calling him false. Mephiston looked into Raffen's mind and saw that the sergeant had received a vision from Sanguinius, in which he was shown to be destined to face his brother. Therefore, the Lord of Death yielded the right of the duel to him. The two brothers fought to the death. After wounding Archeo, Raffen fled momentarily, and the already corrupted Inquisitor Stele ordered the loyal Blood Angels and the followers of the Reborn Angel to attack Mephiston and his retinue. Ultimately, Raffen emerged victorious, piercing Archeo's heart with the Spear of Telesto. The false angel died begging for his brother's forgiveness. After his death, the true architect of the plot was revealed. Malphalax, a greater demon of Tzeentch. Malphalax and Stele had sealed an infernal pact with War Master Garan of the Word-Bearers Traitor Legion. Of course. They planned to corrupt the Blood Angels using Archeo as a false messiah. When Archeo fell, Stele tried to summon Malphalax to possess his slave Ulan. But the demon betrayed the Inquisitor, seizing his body and manifesting in the mortal plane as a Lord of Change. The demon tried to cause the Blood Angels to succumb to the Black Rage, but he was banished by Raffen, who wielded the Spear of Telesto. By then, Mephiston's iron will had broken, and he once again fell prey to the Black Rage. Once more, Raffen directed the spear's power toward Mephiston, breaking the curse and freeing his mind for a second time. We now arrive at the current era, the era Indomitus. Sometime after the birth of the Great Rift, Mephiston voluntarily submitted to the torturous surgical process of the Rubicon Primaris, thus ascending to become a Primaris Space Marine. Even among the sons of Sanguinius, few possess the will required to survive this ordeal, and fewer still to emerge from it more powerful than before. But Mephiston is no ordinary Astartes. His spirit, tempered by madness and death, resists even the hands of fate. Let's now turn to the Shield of Baal in the year 998 of the 41st millennium. When news arrived that the Cryptus Shield, or the Cryptus System, designed to contain the Leviathan High Fleet, had fallen, Commander Dante mobilized the Blood Angels and their successor chapters to defend Baal and its moons. Mephiston joined the offensive, fighting alongside Brother Corbulo, Captain Carleon, and the Lord of the Flesh-Tearers, Gabriel Seth. May the Emperor keep him in his glory, in a desperate war against Leviathan. Although they managed to delay the Tyrannid advance, in the Cryptus system, the price was enormous. Entire worlds were reduced to biological dust. But that temporary victory only postponed the inevitable, the devastation of Baal, a few months later. To conclude, let's talk about the devastation of Baal in the year 999 of the 41st millennium. As the countless sons of Sanguinius prepared to resist Hive Fleet Leviathan, Mephiston suffered a terrifying vision during the long sleep. An elderly Harlequin showed it to him. He saw the fall of the 5th Company during the Diamor campaign, the 13th Black Crusade of Abaddon, the Despoiler, and worst of all, the eruption of the bloodthirster Kabanda into the material plane. Gathering the most powerful librarians from all the chapters present in the Arx Angelicum, Mephiston led a council of Astartes Psychers. There, they performed an ancient and forbidden ritual, opening a window through the warp into the realm of Khorne. Their objective was to contain Kabanda before he could desecrate Baal. Although the ritual failed to completely prevent his manifestation, they did manage to stop the demon from stepping on the sacred ground of the Blood Angels' homeworld. Instead, the Bloodthirster descended upon Baal Primus, where he fought a savage battle against the Tyrannids and the renegade chapter, the Knights of Blood of Hor. Due to the ritual's power, Mephiston and his librarians were trapped in the Bloodstone mines. While the war raged on the surface, they fought to escape their psychic prison, and when they finally emerged, the battle for Baal was over. And so the Lord of Death emerged once more from the abyss, his power redoubled, his mind an unfathomable mystery even to his brothers. Neither death nor chaos have been able to subdue him. But amid the whispers of the warp, even the wisest fear that his struggle is not yet over. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Coffee and Bolter. We'll continue to bring you specific and special characters from all the races and all the possible Space Marine chapters, of which there are many. And for anything else, the comment box is there for whatever you'd like.